While we wait for the fighters to join us, I'll get started. Welcome. We are here at the spectacular Car Theater inside the beautiful MGM Grand here in Las Vegas. Mayweather versus McGregor has generated and captured the imagination of fans across the world, and this is going to be a historical event. This is a fight demanded by the fans and put together for the fans. Both fighters are expected to test their skills in a fight that no one thought would remotely be possible, and it will be talked about and seen around the world for years to come, and what this will be a historical event. Our event is promoted by Mayweather Promotions, sponsored by Corona, and produced live by Showtime Pay-Per-View. We encourage the fans to order this event as early as possible because we expect the demand for this event to be overwhelming come fight day. So order now. In addition to the live event here at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, our fight will be made available for select theaters around the world in a must-see event. We're making our event available on every possible platform, normally through the traditional pay-per-view channels, digital platforms, apps, smart TVs, gaming consoles, movie theaters, bars, and restaurants, so the fans across the world will have access to our event from virtually anywhere. Floyd has made the MGM his home since 2007, with many historical events taken here at the MGM Grand. The MGM has expanded and introduced a new development, the T-Mobile Arena, that will open its doors to this highly anticipated event on Saturday night. I'm honored to introduce a man who I consider a great fan and who's done so much for Floyd Mayweather's career. So without further ado, I'd like to call up the President and Sports of Entertainment for the MGM Resorts Invitational, Richard Stern.
Thank you very much, Leonard. Good afternoon to the media, our event partners, the sponsors, and all the great fans around the world watching today's event live online from the Car Theater at MGM Grand. Fight Week has finally arrived, and we are thrilled that it will be held at T-Mobile Arena, home of the biggest events in the sports and entertainment industry. In a little over a year, T-Mobile Arena has become the industry leader and home to some of the world's greatest athletes and entertainers. On behalf of our 77,000 employees and our T-Mobile Arena partners at AEG, I'd like to give a special thanks to Al Heyman and his staff, Leonard Ellerby and the Mayweather Promotions team, Dana White and the entire UFC staff, Steven Espinoza and the Showtime Sports crew, as well as Bob Bennett and the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Las Vegas and T-Mobile Arena will be the center of the sports universe for this great spectacle. We look forward to once again showing the world that we are the leader in entertainment. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Thank you.
This next person has done a phenomenal job with keeping the fights in order here in Las Vegas. He's one of the toughest guys around, a guy who we enjoy working with, who's all for the health and safety and for the fighters in the sport of boxing, has just done such a remarkable job in the 3 years he's been sitting in this chair. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Executive Director of the Nevada Athletic State Commission, none other than Mr. Bob Bennett.
Thank you, Leonard, and good afternoon. On behalf of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, we'd like to thank the media for their comprehensive coverage of this historic and unprecedented event. The litany of telephone calls and interviews that I've had to do, all of you have been actually relentless. And I've done so many interviews, actually I'm tired of hearing myself speak, so I'll make this short. The state and the Nevada State Athletic Commission is very appreciative to Mayweather Promotions, excuse me, and CEO Leonard Ellerby and Zuffa President Dana White for bringing this fight to the fight capital of the world. As many of you know, this fight could have went to a number of other commissions and to other countries around the world, but they were able to bring it here. And we feel very fortunate that we will have the opportunity to regulate this fight. The commission looks extremely forward to regulating this fight. We embrace this opportunity, and we are trained, prepared, and ready to go to work. We would also like to recognize Richard Sturm from the MGM for hosting another elite fight. And of course, Steven Espinosa and Showtime for broadcasting this event, as well as the all-access programs, which I found to be second to none. They were very interesting. Thank you, Steven. And last, but probably most importantly, as many of you know, I'd like to thank the fighters, the two phenomenal fighters that are going to put on this historic event. If it wasn't for them, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Conor McGregor, none of us would be here today. So I thank you, and God bless.
This next person, he's been a brilliant leader in the sports community. He's done a phenomenal job with the resurgence of boxing. Boxing is at an all-time high right now because some of the outstanding matchups that have been made, and he's been the leader at the forefront in the face of Showtime Boxing, who has put on some phenomenal matches, just not only this year in 2017, but over the years, with Showtime Boxing being the face of boxing. So without further ado, a man who I consider a great friend, and he's our network partner, without further ado, none other than the Executive Vice President of Showtime Sports, Mr. Steven Espinosa.
Thank you, Leonard. It's a pleasure to be back here in Las Vegas, and especially at the MGM Grand, our host for this event. It's a first-class venue, a first-class staff. MGM Grand has a long history, a tradition of hosting big events, especially boxing. I really have to thank, as a fan of boxing, the MGM Grand for its long-standing support. Without the MGM Grand, boxing truly wouldn't be at where it's at today. So I thank Richard Sturm and all the executives there. Also must thank Bob Bennett. He hasn't been here quite as long as the MGM Grand, but he certainly has contributed very much to Las Vegas being the fight capital of the world. And like Las Vegas, Showtime pay-per-view is the home of big events. Over the last several years, we've teamed up with MGM and Mayweather Promotions to bring fans the biggest fights, the most exciting fights, the most memorable events in sports history. Big fight after big fight, record-breaking event after record-breaking event. Events that the world watches, events that make history. Big events, and there is no event bigger than this one. The two biggest stars in combat sports, the two biggest personalities in sports, two once-in-a-generation talents in one once-in-a-lifetime event. This will be the most widely distributed pay-per-view in history, whether that's sports or any other type of pay-per-view. That's hyperbole. That's not hyperbole. That's fact. We have more international distribution than any combat sports in history. Currently, this event will be distributed in over 200 countries. By the time we're all done, that might be closer to 225 countries. That's much broader distribution than Mayweather-Pacquiao and virtually every other sporting event in combat sports that we have on record. It is more widely distributed, as Leonard detailed, technologically through a variety of platforms. Our distribution in closed circuit outlets has set a new record, both in terms of revenue and the breadth of the distribution. And so we are well on our way to being a record-setting event in many categories. As Leonard recommended, I will recommend the same. Order early, buy early, avoid the rush on Saturday. We do expect unprecedented traffic with our cable, satellite telcos, and digital providers So to be safe, please encourage everyone to get out and order early. Thank you.
This next person, he's brilliantly led the WBC boxing for many, many years, along with his great father, the great Jose Suleiman. He's done a great deal for the sport of boxing. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Mauricio Suleiman.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you for the woo. I am very, very excited. I'm very proud to be here with so many journalists, media members from all over the world, to be at the MGM, the greatest mecca of boxing, at the Nevada Commission, with Mr. Richard Sturm, and with Showtime, who has been creating history in the recent years. This is an event that has captured the attention of the world. And I am here just as my father, Jose Suleiman, would be here to be in the corner of the boxer. This is an event where two different sports meet in the ring with boxing rules, and I know that Saturday night boxing is going to be in the eyes of millions and millions of people around the world. The WBC has had in Floyd Mayweather the most loyal champion in our history. He conquered 5 titles in 5 different divisions, has won the diamond belt, the gold belt, the emerald belt. And in order to celebrate this great event between the WBC champion, the WBC hero, the UFC hero, Conor McGregor, the WBC has created the money belt. This belt has maybe I talk too much. 3,360 diamonds, 600 sapphires, 300 emeralds, 1.5 kilograms of solid 24-karat gold, and alligator leather that comes from Italy, from the Ital hide. And it is my pleasure just to present for the winner of this fight, the money belt. Maybe they can, you want to hold it with your, maybe in the front? Yeah, go ahead. You hold it on each side. As you can see, it's one full crocodile, and the medallion is not centered in order to preserve the style of the alligator. And I just like to wish Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, the best of luck. And I'm very happy, very proud to be here. Best of luck to everybody. Thank you.
We're waiting for the arrival of Conor McGregor before we introduce the fighters. What's up, Con? What's up, baby? This next gentleman, he's been an industry face of their sport, and he's definitely been the face of their organization from day one. He's done nothing but a brilliant job from the very, very beginning of his inception. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce none other than the president of UFC, Dana White.
Thank you all so much for your support. Thanks for coming out for this fight. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, the 155-pound champion of the UFC, the notorious Conor McGregor.
Not by you anyway, you little fool, whoever you are. Hello, everybody.
Carry yourself with class. Don't worry about that.
Exactly. Tell that bitch to shut his mouth.
You shut up.
Carry yourself with class, mate. Our paychecks will stop coming. We're here now. A couple days out. There's been a lot of these crazy press conferences. This is a lot more subdued, a lot more business-like, the way I like it, sometimes. I just want to say I'm very happy with how the camp has gone. Everything has gone absolutely amazing. I'd like to give a shout out to my team, Coach Kavanagh, Coach Owen Roddy, everyone that's been involved in the camp, my cardiovascular coaches in the McGregor Fast Conditioning Program. We are prepared for 12 3-minute rounds of non-stop pace, and I will go forward and I will put the pressure on him and break this old man. Trust me on that. We are more than ready. However, 8-ounce gloves, he made a big error in my opinion. I don't see him lasting 2 rounds. I feel I will have the decision to end it inside 1. He told you to shut up. Good bitch. Yeah, look, he messed up with them 8-ounce gloves. It was amusing all that as well, but I'm very, very happy with the 8. We usually fight in 4. We're going to fight in 8. Keep your hands up, keep your hands down. I don't care. I'm going to break through whatever's in front of me. And that's it. Thank you all. I really appreciate the support from everybody back home, all over the world. It's been very humbling and motivating to me. That's why I've put in the work. You see the work put in from me compared to him in this camp. I've taken this very seriously. I've had referees in camp. I've taken the Marquess of Queensberry rules very seriously, and I will go out and I will perform. I'm not going to look to implement anything. I'm going to outbox this man at his own game. That's how skilled and how much of a different level I am to him. So that's no problem. That's no problem. We can bet the purse. There you go. Right, so that's it. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to fuck this boy up. Make no mistake. And when it's all said and done, you know what? I'm going to feel a little bit sad because you should have all kept your mouth shut. You should have left me over on that other game that I'm from, that more ruthless game where we bounce heads off the canvas and drill them into the floor. You should have left me where I was because this man is not on my level. He's not even a quarter of the man I am. So we're going to see, and and you're all going to eat your words in there. So thank you all. I appreciate it. I look forward to Saturday night.
no introduction. Without further ado, the 12-time world champion in 5 different weight classes, none other than Floyd Money Mayweather.
First, I would like to, I want to thank God for putting me in this position. I want to thank my team. I want to thank my father. I want to thank my family. I want to thank the MGM Grand. I want to thank Showtime. I want to thank CBS. I want to thank Al Heyman. I've been here so many times, and I know what it takes when it's a fight of this magnitude. I want to thank the social media. I want to thank the different media outlets for covering this event. And, you know, I want to touch on a certain subject. You know, a lot of times we come to these press conferences, we need to conduct ourselves in an orderly fashion, because when it comes down to it, it comes down to the two fighters. You know, everybody can talk about betting, everybody can talk about what is going to happen, what is not going to happen. At the end of the day, it comes down to me and the guy that I'm competing against. I had a tremendous training camp, you know, a very, 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 very great training camp. You know, we had different guys that give me different looks, and I appreciate that. You know, to be in the sport, just period, a combat sport, no matter if it's MMA or boxing, we're fighters at the end of the day. To be in the sport 21 years, I had to take it extremely serious. And for you guys to think that Saturday I'm not taking this serious, I'm taking this extremely serious. But the thing is this, when it's all said and done, I know one thing that I can do. I can fight. I can give it, and I can take it. But for me to be 49-0, it's obvious I'm not receiving it, I'm giving it. The best hotel in the world is the MGM Grand. I take my hat off to Richard and your staff. You know, for 21 years, you guys have treated me with the utmost respect and gave me 5-star treatment. So I want to say thank you. What else? Dana White, you've done a tremendous job. I've been knowing you 21 years. And when I say Bullenbeiser, no one knows what that is but me and you. You know, 21 years. Conor McGregor had a hell of a career, still got a hell of a career. He's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a fighter. He's a stand-up guy. He's a tough competitor. It's not going to be an easy fight. It's going to be blood, sweat, and tears Saturday. That's what we're here to get the fans, and that's what we want to get the people all around the world. Mauricio Suleiman, I want to say thank you so much to the WBC. When I was a kid, it was always one of my goals was to be the world champion, the WBC world champion, and I want to say thank you. To the Nevada Boxing Commission, the best boxing commission in the world, I want to say thank you for always giving every fighter, whether it's an MMA fighter or a boxer, a fair chance. There's no commission like the Nevada Boxing Commission. And to the media all around the world that's covering this event, thank you. I appreciate it, as well as Conor McGregor and his team. I'm pretty sure he had a tremendous training camp. Now it comes down to the two competitors. It comes down to me and Conor McGregor going out there, displaying our skills, and giving the fans what they want to see. And that's what it's really about. The best fighting the best. He's the best at what he do. I'm the best at what I do. But when it's all said and done, Conor McGregor is like myself. In the octagon, he's undefeated standing up. He can do a lot of this, I can do a lot of this, but it comes down to the skills. And it comes down to us fighting and competing and giving you guys what you want to see. I've been here plenty of times. Guys say, oh, I'm going to go to the body on Mayweather. I'm going to hit him with the right hand. I'm going to hit him with the left hook. After 21 years, I've been hit with everything, and I'm still right here. One thing that you must know about the sport of boxing and about combat sports, remember, if you give it, you must be able to take it. So, with that being said, out of 47 opponents that I faced, They say, oh, he got brittle hands. Oh, he's a scared opponent. He's a scared guy. He's a scared. Listen, last time I checked, nobody is walking me down. It's called smarts. It's called having an IQ. It's called having patience. And from day one, everything that my dad taught me, from day one, I still know to this day. Every combination that was taught to me, I know. And any and everything in boxing that can be done, I've done it. Not just once, not just twice, 1,000 times. I was born a fighter, I would die a fighter. August 26, he's gonna bring his best. And it's not gonna be easy, Conor. It's not gonna be easy. Remember, Pacquiao got bombs. Canelo got bombs. Shane Mosley had bombs. And all those guys are going in the Hall of Fame. But one thing about me, I got a granite chin. But remember this, the same way you give it, you have to be able to take it. Remember this. I just really want to thank you guys, everybody that's in this room, for covering this event. And I couldn't do this in a better city than Las Vegas. This city has been unbelievable to me. This city has treated me with nothing but open arms. And to my family, thank you. I love you all.
Before we pose the fighter, we'd like to take a couple questions from the media.
Floyd, after 21 years in the fight game, this is a farewell fight in a lot of ways for you. What does this fight mean to your legacy, and how do you want to go out as a fighter?
I mean, I just, competing against the best. That's what it's about. Taking chances. What better city than Las Vegas than take a chance? The city is built on gambling. I'm taking the gamble, but it's worth it.
Conor, Floyd says he could make the biggest bet of his life on himself for this fight. Are you going to bet on this fight for yourself?
Sorry, say that again?
Floyd says he may make the biggest bet he's ever made on himself for this fight. Are you going to bet on yourself in this fight, and how much? I'm not.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I certainly know I'm going to win. I certainly know that. I think he has a big-time gambling problem from seeing him. He gambles on half times and things like that. He shows what his wins are, never shows what the losses are. Maybe that's why he's in this position he is in, and he had to take this fight. So, look, I'm focused on the fight, not gambling.
Thank you.
A message for Conor McGregor here. Very strong message from Floyd Mayweather, Conor, in his speech that it's not how you give it in boxing, but how you take it. How do you respond to that he's indicating that you're not going to be able to take his punches when you two are in exchanges?
I've come through a shin bone. You ever had a shin bone bounce off your cheekbone? You ever come through that? You know what I mean? That's the game I come from. So, they can say what they want. I've come through a lot tougher than any of these have come through. So we are prepared. And like I said, I am prepared for the 12 3-minute rounds of insane pace, crazy fight. I'm ready for that. I just do not believe that he can give that. So.
And Floyd, in the whole build-up to this, given that what's been laid out about your career, your economic impact on boxing, the incredible career you've had,
I can't really hear you.
Given what you've heard all the way through the build-up to this fight from Conor, do you feel underlying he doesn't respect your skills?
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, you know, what a fighter or a guy that's competing against me say before he get in there. You know, it's different. It's different. You can say whatever you want to say when you're on the outside. Once you get inside that square circle, it's totally different.
Conor, you said you've had a... Sorry.
Come closer to the mic, please.
Hey, Conor, you said you've had a great camp. If the fight goes how you hope it will go, could this be a career change? I mean, there's been talk this is a one-time deal. Could you perhaps switch careers and, you know...
The fight business is the fight business. Rule sets or any of that does not, you know, I can go into any rule set. That's what a true martial artist can do. I'm skilled in many forms of fighting. Truly skilled in many forms. So, after I get victory on Saturday night, I will most certainly be looking to compete in both sports. I was joking, but I was actually thinking about it. Maybe going forward, since I'm the king of the boxing ring and the king of the octagon already, well then maybe when I've conquered both, maybe I might just create my own hybrid of an octagon and a boxing ring or something, and you know, have one bang in the middle of both of them. And if anyone wants to come and challenge me, it must be in my octagon or whatever way we come up with. But we'll see what happens. But I'm an active fighter. I enjoy it. I don't stop thinking about fighting. So most certainly when this one is done, I'll have about 20 seconds where I'll be like, I'll relish in victory, but then I'll be like, who's next? So that's just the way I've always been. And at just turned 29 years of age, I'm still very young in my career, so I will be looking to compete all over the place.
And one more question. Has this changed the way that you approach future things? The power that you have has a draw. I mean, it doesn't seem like you're going to fight for a percentage anymore. It seems like you need some kind of ownership. So does this change anything?
Well, it's all about levels. You go from one level to the next level to the next level. So I've been continually climbing up the ranks, from fighting on the prelims to on the main card to in the main event to world titles to multiple world titles to co-promoting. So we're climbing levels, and I have a great partnership with the people I'm involved with, and let's see where it goes. But the sky is most certainly the limit.
Now we will pose to fighters.